I'm just trying to decide if I'm comfortable even talking about
This one's wife. The day is long and lonely. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Picture, if you will, another sunny day in California. Even in early morning, the temperatures are already in the mid-20s. And a sweaty, dishevelled Prince of Pink Pancakes finds himself skulking in the shade of the chicken coop. He's there with his two best friends, Blue Crayon and Green Crayon. Oh, Blue Crayon, oh, I've been sent to the chicken coop again.
Don't worry, Harry. You can use me to color the sky nice and blue. The sky is the limit for you.
Oh, it's really nice of you to say that, but I don't think it is, you know. I have no practical skills whatsoever. I mean, you know, all through my life I've been told where to go, what to do, who to see. Made life easy, yeah? But now I even have to decide what colour underpants I put on in the morning. It's really confusing. Today I couldn't decide, and Megsy shouted at me.
Don't worry, said the Green Crayon. She can be like that, but it's just her way of caring for you.
Oh, do you really think so? I like to think so, but she can be so mean at times, you know, Green Crayon.
Yeah, but, you know, she's under a lot of pressure at the moment.
Yeah, I suppose she is, isn't she? Doing that cookery show, which most people have said will never see the light of day. I don't know why. After all, she's really good in the kitchen. She roasted my chicken many times. Harry, don't forget, as a Blue Crayon, I can open you up to many worlds. Yeah, I hope so. And do you think you could get Mumsy on the line for me? I'm feeling a bit lost, and I've run out of Elizabeth Arden cream, so it'd be nice to hear her voice.
Don't worry, Harry. I'll do that for you, said the Green Crayon.
Oh, thank goodness I've got you guys, you know. Otherwise, it's such a lonely existence here. I can hardly ever find Megsy. She's usually either in the study laughing with Marcus, or she clears off on some expedition somewhere. No idea where she goes. I get really bored, and she's taken away my Xbox as well. Probably a fairly accurate representation of how life is for Harry at the present time. And this has been reported on by The Mirror, by Joseph Wilkes, that states, Prince Harry finds the day long and lonely, as he has no practical skills, while finding himself in a strange, unfamiliar world, which grows increasingly unfriendly. But it is his wife, this one's wife's natural environment. Well, you know what, Prince of Pink Pancakes? It's your own fucking fault. If you hadn't been such a dimwit, if you'd actually listened to your brother, if you hadn't been thinking with little Harry, all of this wouldn't happen. Yes, you've been ensnared by a narcissist. Yes, you didn't know what that meant like many people. But you really ought to have had regard to her behaviours now, and instead you've chosen to continue to stay within that awful shared fantasy. The Mirror continues by explaining that those views are according to, yes, another royal expert, who claims Harry is harbouring major regret as his new life in the United States comes under threat and faces potential upheaval. The Duke of Sussex relocated to America with his former Suits actress, in case you didn't know, wife in 2020, after they announced their decision to step back from their roles as senior royals and strive for financial independence from the monarchy. However, trouble has arisen following the launch of a lawsuit against Harry by the Heritage Foundation, a think tank group. This comes after Harry confessed to past drug use in his revealing memoir, Spare. Applicants are required to disclose any history of drug use when filling out the form. In his memoir, Harry candidly discusses his experience with magic mushrooms and cannabis. It then talks more about the experience where a pedal bin started to take on human form, Fascinating, I'm sure. But the think tank has accused Harry of lying about his previous drug use on his application and receiving preferential treatment. The form is currently under review and is being examined by Washington, D.C. Judge Carl Nichols. It's him again. It's royal commentator Tom Quinn, who seems to have taken over from Omid Scobie as being a bit of a mouthpiece for all of these things, but has said that Prince Harry's initial thrill over his new life in the States is fading as he grapples with mounting backlash. Mr. Quinn said during his first 6 months in the States, Harry found everything new and exciting. Well, naturally. But the glamour is definitely wearing off. However big your garden, and Harry and this one's wife's garden at Monty Shit Show is enormous, there's only so much you can do when you have no practical skills and you have always paid people to cook, clean and garden for you. Harry has never done any of these practical things, so after he's taken the dog for a walk in the morning, he finds the day long and lonely. This one's wife does her best to support Harry. No, she doesn't, but she is in a natural environment, and he is in a strange, unfamiliar world which grows increasingly unfriendly. He also disclosed that the couple are seeking legal counsel amid fears that a potential Trump presidency could see Harry's visa revoked due to past drug use admissions. The couple have taken legal advice because they're seriously worried that if Donald Trump wins the next election, Harry's visa may be revoked. Trump has insisted that if Harry is found to have lied on his visa application about his admitted drug taking, he could be asked to leave the country. Finally, Quinn remarked on Harry's realization of his royal status in America, saying, Harry initially thought this couldn't possibly happen to him, as the normal rules don't apply to a royal prince. But he is increasingly realizing that in the United States, being a prince doesn't actually count for very much. Fuck me, it's taken him that long to work that out. In his concluding remarks, Quinn said, but one thing is for sure, Harry deeply regrets ever making his drug taking public. It never occurred to him that this might end up threatening his whole life plan. Well, as always, I leave it up to you to make a determination as to the veracity of this material. But the point is, it likely is the case that Harry finds the day long and lonely. In part because he has no practical skills, that there is a staff that does all of the things that are required to be done. But a lot of it is a consequence of the fact that he finds himself in that sustained devaluation as a victim of a narcissist. Many of the people that I consult with talk about the loneliness of being in a relationship, being with someone, but feeling completely alone. This is because you form a connection with the narcissist, but the narcissist does not connect with you. That is why the narcissist is so easily able to walk away from you on disengagement. That you, having emotionally invested in the relationship, have created many strands between you and the narcissist. But the narcissist just walks away from all of that. Loneliness is something that frequently occurs in the context of the narcissistic dynamic. And it is exacerbated by the fact that the narcissist will have invariably isolated you from family and friends. Only yesterday, I posted 2 excellent videos about the narcissist's hunting ground in relation to a life coach. And I'd encourage you, if you haven't done so already, to watch those videos to understand the modus operandi of a narcissist in isolating victims from their support networks, i.e. their families, because it will help you understand all the more what this one's wife has done in relation to Harry. He has been removed from his family, has never met certain of his in-laws, he doesn't have his friends, and as a consequence of that, that makes him far easier to control, because this one's wife becomes his life. He is so reliant upon her, and that is precisely what the narcissist seeks to achieve by monopolizing the time of that victim and pulling them away from other influences such as friends and family. Her narcissism has naturally done that as part of its pursuit of the prime aims. Initially, Harry readily embraced all of that because she was fun to be around, exciting, interesting, kind, gave him lots of spicy poontang. So why wouldn't he want to spend lots of time with her? Furthermore, she convinced him as a consequence of the brainwashing to leave the United Kingdom. Thus, not only did she isolate him from friends and family, she removed him geographically from a place that was familiar to him and took him to a place that was entirely alien to him. Now, at first, All would have been exciting, as the article suggests, but over time, with no friends there, with no family, and very little to do, Harry will not only find himself bored, but also bored and lonely within the context of his relationship because of the sustained devaluation. Whether he regrets it yet, well, you can make your own minds up about that, but it's certainly something that a victim would do, regretting making a move, regretting finding themselves in the situation that they are in. In part, it was done because he'd been ensnared by something that he didn't recognise, but latterly, he's essentially become a volunteer to it, because there's enough information out there, there's enough people telling him via articles and videos precisely what she is, and he will have experienced her poor behaviours repeatedly, yet he still remains. I've explained in separate videos why the victim does that, but with Harry, he is yet to wake up, and thus his day is long and lonely, because he's shackled to a narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.